So something I quite like thinking about as well is the single line or the single phrase that describes how you are motivated.
Okay, what do you mean?
So I hadn't really thought about this before until a friend who he's got an Amazon affiliate site, and his big goal was to get to #1 in terms of monthly hits.
Okay.
And he told me that this was his big goal. He told me that he was doing hermit mode for like a year to get there until he was #1. And he showed me this thing that he'd made on Photoshop that was like a leaderboard of his website, which was currently, I think it was like #4. And all these like competitors, like rivals, enemies, I think he called them.
Yeah.
And he'd set it up like a video game. And it was a video game, it was a leaderboard. And all the ones below him, he'd struck through and he'd written killed. So it was like a very violent, it was a very violent leaderboard. And his goal was to get to #1. And what he knew is that leaderboards motivated him. The idea of killing the competition motivates him. The idea of like being right at the top, having put the work in, it's like his real thing. And I tried to do it with my business. I tried to do it with Coach Fox AI. I said to him, so how do I replicate this? And he kind of showed me what kind of leaderboard I could make. He had a look on Google to see who had monthly traffic similar to ours, etc., etc. And I looked at this leaderboard and it did nothing for me. I was not motivated at all to do that because that's just not my success. That's not my main motivating factor. So it's like finding yours, and in a similar way to how we came up with your success system, go back through your biggest achievements and figure out why it meant so much and why it really meant so much. So like setting up your own business might not be because of the financial stuff. It might be because of the freedom stuff. Like having kids or getting married or like anything that you ever think like, yes, this meant a lot. It might not be because of the reason that other people think it should mean a lot. There might be something in it for you. And mine, I know,
yours? Yeah.
because a friend of a friend who I had a chat with sent me a personality test. I think it was the Insights personality test. And it's so long. You answer all these questions. And I think I had like 24 pages. Whoa. But one of the lines in it is motivated by the idea of succeeding against all odds. And when I look back at stuff, the main thing that makes the difference and stands out in anything is when someone says to me, like, there's hardly any chance of you doing that. Or, oh, this is like only 1 in a million people do this. Or I remember at my company's 3rd birthday party and our lawyer came and said, oh, well done. You've got in the 10% of businesses who make it past 3 years. And I was like, yeah, of course we have. But I like this idea that there are really, really, really slim odds and that we're gonna smash them.
That's interesting. Because that does nothing for me. As you were saying that, I was like,
yes,
that's never
it's
once.
So interesting.
And I speak to so many people who are like, oh, someone told me I couldn't do it. And then I thought, oh, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And I'm like, really? That's motivating?
So, I was on a podcast called Built to Sell, and John Morello, the host, said something like, we've done 300 episodes, and of all these 300 episodes, you're the only one who's sold without having to do an earn out. And in my head, it was like 300-1. And I was like, that's me, that's the one. And that's like the thing, that's the real thing. Whereas the leaderboard, yeah, nothing. But there's other things. So it's like, find yours and then use that again going forward and kind of fabricate situations that will mean that you are motivated because you can think of it in that way, just like my friend Richard with his leaderboard and killing all the competition.
Hey friends, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this clip, then click here for the full unedited episode. And if you like that, then do please consider subscribing to the channel. It means a lot. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.